The Ethereal Guardian. The Ethereal Guardian is a magical adventure that tells the tale of Seraphina, an 18-year-old girl from the magical town of Elderglow. Born with striking platinum hair, Seraphina leads an ordinary life until an ancient spirit reveals her extraordinary destiny. As the chosen Guardian of Elderglow, Seraphina must navigate a world of magic, mystical creatures, and treacherous villains to protect her home. Along the journey, she grapples with unexpected alliances, heart-wrenching betrayals, and the struggle to accept her new identity. Imbued with powerful magic and guided by the Heart of Elderglow, Seraphina's journey is a testament to bravery, friendship, and the enduring spirit of a guardian. Her story invites readers to explore a world where magic is a part of everyday life, and the extraordinary can be found in the most unexpected places. The Ethereal Guardian is not just a tale of magic and adventure, it's a story about finding one's place in the world, embracing destiny, and becoming the hero of one's own story. Chapter 1, The Shimmering Strands. In the quaint village of Elderglow, nestled against the edge of an enchanted forest, lives Seraphina, an 18-year-old maiden unlike any other. Her platinum white hair shimmered like moonlight, cascading down in waves to her waist, and her striking beauty was a constant source of village gossip. Yet, it was not just her hair or her ethereal beauty that set her apart. Seraphina had a gift. A gift she had kept secret her entire life, a gift that even she did not fully understand. As a child, she found herself drawn to the enchanted forest, the whispered songs of the trees, the twittering of mystical creatures, and the twinkling of the forest's magic. It was a symphony of magic that only she seemed to hear. One late spring evening, Seraphina sat by the window of her small cottage, her fingers absent-mindedly twirling a strand of her shimmering hair. As her mind wandered to the forest's nightly chorus, she felt a strange warmth spreading from her fingertips into her hair. Her hair, usually as cool as moonlight, felt warm, and it began to emit a faint glow. It was as if her hair was responding to the magical melody of the forest, a melody that was growing stronger within her. Terrified yet fascinated, Seraphina dared not tell anyone about her glowing hair or the enchanting music she heard from the forest. The villagers were already wary of her strange beauty and her uncommon hair. This new development would only deepen their suspicion and fear. So, she kept her secret to herself, hidden away like a precious gem. As the days passed, Seraphina felt a change within herself. The forest's music was more vibrant, more compelling, and her hair glowed brighter, its shimmer more radiant. She could not ignore it any longer. She had to understand what was happening to her. With a deep breath, Seraphina decided to embrace her gift, her connection to the forest's magic. Little did she know, her life was about to change forever, and her destiny was waiting just around the corner. The first whispers of her extraordinary journey had begun. Chapter 2, The Stirring Shadows. The enchanted forest of Elderglow was a world of wonder and mystery, teeming with magical creatures and ancient secrets. This forest, with its towering trees and blooming flowers that shimmered in the moonlight, had always been a haven of peace. But of late, a strange restlessness had fallen upon it. The forest seemed uneasy, the creatures unsettled. Seraphina, with her newfound connection to the forest, felt this disturbance more keenly than anyone else. It was as if the once harmonious symphony of the forest had been replaced by a dissonant melody, filled with apprehension and unease. The harmony she had grown to love was disrupted, replaced with an ominous hum that sent a shiver down her spine. One day, while walking along a familiar forest path, Seraphina came across an unusual sight. A group of forest creatures, a pack of luminescent lumberbells known for their peaceful nature, were huddled together, their lights flickering erratically. Their usual harmonious chirping was replaced with nervous twittering. As Seraphina approached them, her hair began to glow brighter. She felt a surge of warmth and a strange sense of understanding. She knelt down, extending her hand towards the anxious creatures. To her astonishment, the lumberbells, usually shy, huddled closer, their tiny lights pulsing in rhythm with her glowing hair. It was as if they were communicating with her, their fear and anxiety palpable in their flickering lights. This encounter confirmed Seraphina's suspicions. Something was indeed wrong. The forest was in distress, and the magical creatures were afraid. The once serene sanctuary was being overshadowed by an unknown threat. Seraphina knew she couldn't ignore this. The magic of the forest was a part of her, and she felt the deep responsibility to help. As the forest's melody echoed in her mind and her hair shimmered with newfound determination, Seraphina pledged to uncover the source of the forest's unrest. Chapter 3, The Sage's Prophecy. In the Heart of Elderglow village lived the oldest inhabitant, Alara, a wise sage known for her profound knowledge of the ancient lore and the secrets of the forest. Many villagers sought her guidance, yet kept a respectful distance due to the air of mystery surrounding her. Seraphina, driven by the forest's distress and her inexplicable bond, decided to seek Alara's counsel. As she approached the sage's small, ivy-covered cottage, her heart pounded with anticipation and a tinge of fear. Alara was waiting. "I have been expecting you, Seraphina," she said, her voice as old as the rustling leaves yet as comforting as a warm hearth. She gestured for Seraphina to sit. The air was thick with the scent of ancient scrolls and dried herbs. Alara studied Seraphina for a moment, her gaze finally resting on her shimmering strands. She then spoke of a prophecy, an ancient tale passed down through generations. It spoke of a guardian with hair of moonlight, a maiden who could commune with the enchanted forest and its magical creatures. This guardian was destined to rise in a time of great need, to protect the realm from a looming darkness. As Alara recited the prophecy, Seraphina felt a chill run down her spine. The details fit too perfectly. The guardian was her. As the weight of the prophecy settled upon her, Seraphina felt an overwhelming sense of fear, yet also a strange relief. Her connection to the forest, her glowing hair, the forest's distress, it all started making sense. Alara, seeing the realization dawn on Seraphina's face, offered her a comforting smile. "Fear not, child," she said. "Destiny has chosen you, but it does not bind you. The path ahead will be challenging, but remember, the forest chose you because it believes in you." Stepping out of the sage's cottage, the prophecy echoing in her ears, Seraphina felt a newfound resolve. She was a guardian, the protector the forest needed. As she gazed at the forest, her hair glowing brighter than ever, Seraphina embraced her destiny. She was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Chapter 4, The Guardian's Training. With the weight of the prophecy on her shoulders, Seraphina embarked on her training under the guidance of Alara. Every day was filled with learning and discovery, as Seraphina was introduced to the ancient arts of the Guardian. From understanding the language of the magical creatures to harnessing the energy of the enchanted forest, Seraphina's training was rigorous and demanding. Yet, she embraced it with determination and unyielding spirit. Seraphina's unique bond with the forest deepened with each passing day. She learned to sense the subtle ebbs and flows of the forest's energy, the mystical rhythm that pulsed in every leaf, every flower, and every creature. She found that she could communicate with the forest creatures, their thoughts and emotions resonating with her own. And her hair, her unique moonlit strands, became a conduit, channeling the forest's magic in ways she had never imagined. The forest responded to Seraphina, its magic harmonizing with her own. The trees seemed to stand taller when she passed, the flowers bloomed brighter, and the creatures greeted her with affectionate chirps and purrs. The dissonant melody she had sensed was still present, but now she felt stronger, more equipped to confront it. Under Alara's tutelage, Seraphina also learned about the looming threat, a dark force that sought to drain the forest's magic and disrupt the balance between the magical and mortal realms. The prophecy was unclear about the nature of this force, but it was clear about the Guardian's role, to protect the forest and preserve its magic. Seraphina trained tirelessly, her days a blur of lessons, practice, and deepening bonds with the forest and its creatures. And each night, she would return home, her shimmering hair aglow, heart brimming with the magic she was learning to wield. She was a guardian, and she was ready to protect her forest, her home, from the encroaching darkness. Chapter 5, The Seeds of Doubt. As Seraphina's powers grew, so did the villagers' curiosity and suspicion. Whispers of her training and her unique abilities started to circulate, and not everyone looked upon her with favor. Her platinum hair, once a subject of fascination, became a symbol of fear and apprehension. Some villagers began to avoid her, crossing paths to evade her shimmering gaze. Others cast her worried glances, their eyes reflecting their fear of the unknown. Seraphina felt the sting of their suspicion, but she held her head high, focusing on her mission. The whispers and sidelong glances took a toll on Seraphina, sowing seeds of doubt in her mind. Was she truly meant to be the guardian? Was she capable of protecting the forest and the village? The villagers' doubts mirrored her own insecurities, and the once harmonious symphony of the forest was overpowered by the cacophony of her doubts. One evening, as these doubts threatened to consume her, she found herself standing at the edge of the forest. The moon was high, casting a silver glow on her cascading hair. She closed her eyes, reaching out to the forest, seeking its solace. And the forest answered. The trees seemed to sway gently, whispering words of comfort, the magical creatures gathered around her, their presence a reassuring balm. In the heart of the forest, Seraphina found her resolve. She was a guardian, chosen by the forest itself. The doubt and fear were merely obstacles on her path, challenges she needed to overcome. She had the strength of the ancient forest backing her, its magic flowing through her. Walking back to the village, her doubts replaced by a renewed sense of purpose, Seraphina realized that the path of the Guardian was not only about wielding magic but also about maintaining faith in herself, in her destiny, and in the magic of the forest. Chapter 6, The Arrival of the Dark Enchantress. Just as Seraphina was finding her footing and learning to ignore the villagers' doubts, a new presence arrived in Elderglow. A mysterious woman, cloaked in dark attire and possessing a magnetic allure, introduced herself as Morgana, an enchantress from a distant land. Morgana's arrival stirred up the village. She was captivating, her enchanting tales of her travels and powerful magic captivating the villagers. She quickly gained their trust, offering to use her magic to ease their daily lives and troubles. The villagers, swayed by her charm, were quick to accept her help, oblivious to the subtle changes around them. However, Seraphina noticed something unsettling. The forest reacted to Morgana's presence, its once vibrant energy dulling, the magical creatures growing restless and the enchanted melodies turning discordant. Her hair, too, responded, glowing with an intensity that reflected her growing unease. Unable to ignore the forest's distress, Seraphina sought Elara's counsel. The wise sage, after a moment of deep contemplation, agreed with Seraphina's suspicions. Morgana was not what she appeared to be. There was a darkness about her, a threat that they could not ignore. With Elara's confirmation, Seraphina knew that the threat mentioned in the prophecy had arrived. Morgana was the dark force she was destined to confront. But she was not just a faceless threat anymore, she was a person who had gained the trust of the villagers, a person who was far more dangerous than Seraphina had ever imagined. As the realization sank in, Seraphina's resolve hardened. She was a guardian, the protector of the enchanted forest, and she would not let Morgana harm her home. The battle was about to begin, and Seraphina was ready to face it head-on. Chapter 7, The Unveiling of True Intentions. With the arrival of Morgana, Elderglow was engulfed in a haze of enchantment and mystery. But Seraphina saw through the veneer. She knew Morgana's true intentions, and she knew that she had to act. She decided to confront Morgana, to try and gauge the enchantress's plans. In a public gathering, under the shadow of the moonlight, Seraphina stepped forward, her platinum hair shimmering with determination. She asked Morgana about her true intentions, about the source of her power, and why the forest reacted so distressingly to her presence. The crowd gasped, shocked at Seraphina's audacity, but Morgana merely laughed. Her eyes glinted with an eerie light as she brushed off Seraphina's questions, her answers filled with dismissive arrogance and veiled threats. But Seraphina was not deterred. She stood her ground, her gaze never leaving Morgana's. In Morgana's eyes, Seraphina saw a flicker of surprise and a glint of something darker, more ominous. In that moment, she knew she was right. Morgana was the threat, the one she was destined to protect the forest from. Morgana, realizing that Seraphina would not be swayed by her charisma, finally showed her true colors. With a flick of her wrist, she unleashed a powerful spell, causing a gust of dark energy to whip through the village. The villagers gasped, huddling together in fear. However, Seraphina stood firm. Channeling the energy of the forest, she cast a protective shield around the villagers, her hair glowing brighter than ever. Morgana's spell crashed against the shield, dissipated without causing harm. Morgana sneered at Seraphina, her cover blown. "This is not over, Guardian," she threatened before disappearing into the darkness. The villagers, shaken but safe, finally saw Seraphina for who she was, their guardian. They had doubted her, feared her, but now they saw her courage and her commitment to protect them. With Morgana's threat hanging heavy in the air, Seraphina knew that the battle had only just begun. But she was not alone anymore. She had the support of the villagers and the backing of the forest. She was ready to face whatever Morgana had in store. Chapter 8, The Hidden Map. In the aftermath of Morgana's open threat, Seraphina and Elara began to strategize. They needed to find a way to counteract Morgana's dark magic, and for that, they needed to discover more about it. The pair turned to ancient texts, hoping to uncover some clue or weapon that could help them in their fight. After days of tireless research, they stumbled upon an old legend that spoke of a powerful artifact, a gemstone called the Heart of Elderglow. According to the legend, the heart held an immense amount of pure magic that could neutralize any dark forces. But the location of the heart was a mystery, known only to the ancient spirits of the forest. Believing the Heart of Elderglow to be their only hope, Seraphina and Elara decided to seek the spirit's guidance. Utilizing her connection with the forest, Seraphina called upon the spirits. They responded, materializing in the form of glowing orbs that danced around Seraphina, their energy resonating with her hair. In the silent communion that followed, the spirits revealed the existence of a hidden map, etched in the very roots of Elderglow's oldest tree, the Grand Elder. The map was invisible to the naked eye, only visible to the guardian of the forest. Guided by the spirits, Seraphina found the Grand Elder and laid her hands on its ancient bark. At her touch, the map revealed itself, glowing lines of magic forming a complex pattern that pointed towards the location of the heart. The location was deep within the forest, in a place untouched by humans, guarded by the fiercest magical creatures. With the map in their possession, Seraphina and Elara now had a clear goal. They had to retrieve the Heart of Elderglow, their only hope against Morgana's dark magic. The journey ahead was perilous, but the stakes were too high to back down. The fight against Morgana was about to take a critical turn, and Seraphina was determined to come out victorious. Chapter 9, The Perilous Journey. With the guidance of the hidden map, Seraphina and Elara set off on their dangerous quest to retrieve the Heart of Elderglow. The path led them deep into the heart of the forest, through dense foliage, across turbulent streams, and up steep hills. The forest, despite its familiarity, felt different, more intense, and alive, reflecting the gravity of their mission. As they ventured deeper, they faced various challenges. The forest was teeming with magical creatures, some friendly, others not so much. There were giant serpents with venomous fangs, shadowy wraiths that moved with the wind, and fire-breathing dragons that guarded their territories fiercely. But Seraphina, guided by her instinct and her connection with the forest, managed to navigate through these dangers, often with the help of other, friendlier magical creatures. However, the journey was not just about physical challenges. It was a test of Seraphina's resolve, her courage, and her ability to make difficult decisions. There were moments of self-doubt, moments when the path seemed impossible, moments when turning back seemed like the easier option. But each time, Seraphina gathered herself, took a deep breath, and pressed on, her determination unwavering. Meanwhile, Elara provided unwavering support, her wisdom and experience proving invaluable. She encouraged Seraphina, reminded her of her purpose, and stood by her side, a steady presence in the whirlwind of their adventure. With each step, Seraphina's bond with the forest deepened. She could feel its life force pulsating around her, its magical energy flowing through her, fueling her journey. The forest was not just her home, it was her ally, her protector, her guide. And she was its guardian, its defender, its voice. As they neared their destination, Seraphina knew that the most challenging part of their journey was still ahead. The Heart of Elderglow was within their reach, but retrieving it would not be easy. But she was ready, her resolve stronger than ever. She would not let Morgana win. She would protect her home, her forest, no matter the cost. Chapter 10, The Ultimate Betrayal. After several days of treacherous journey, Seraphina and Elara finally reached the location marked on the map. Before them lay a hidden cave, its entrance guarded by an imposing dragon with scales that shimmered like emeralds in the sunlight. Taking a deep breath, Seraphina stepped forward to negotiate passage, her heart pounding in her chest. With a combination of bravery and diplomacy, they managed to convince the dragon to let them pass, entering the cave that held the Heart of Elderglow. The air inside the cave was dense with ancient magic, making Seraphina's hair glow brighter than ever. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they finally laid eyes on their goal. The Heart of Elderglow was a gemstone of unparalleled beauty, its surface pulsating with pure magic. It was nestled atop a stone pedestal, bathed in ethereal light filtering from a hole in the ceiling of the cave. However, just as Seraphina reached out to take the heart, a blast of dark energy erupted around them. Morgana emerged from the shadows, her eyes gleaming with malice. She had followed them, using them to lead her to the heart. In the ensuing chaos, Alara revealed her true colors. With a regretful look, she confessed to being Morgana's spy, confessing that she had been coerced into betraying Seraphina. The revelation was a blow more painful than any physical wound. The person Seraphina had trusted, had considered a friend, had stabbed her in the back. Despite her heartbreak, Seraphina knew she couldn't afford to falter. She battled Morgana, their magic clashing in a spectacle of light and darkness. However, Morgana, powered by dark magic, had the upper hand. She managed to grab the heart, her triumph echoing in her wicked laughter. But Seraphina was far from defeated. She was a guardian, chosen by the forest itself. And she wouldn't let Morgana destroy her home. She wouldn't let a betrayal break her. With renewed determination, she prepared for the most important battle of her life. Chapter 11, The Final Confrontation. With the Heart of Elderglow in Morgana's possession, Seraphina knew she had to act swiftly. She called upon every ounce of her magic, her connection with the forest, and her inherent determination. The cave was filled with a cacophony of clashing magic and echoes of taunting laughter. Morgana, confident of her victory, underestimated the young guardian. Seraphina seized the moment, her magic surging, a manifestation of her will to protect her home. In a swift move, Seraphina disarmed Morgana, causing the heart to fly out of her hand. But before it could fall to the ground, Seraphina caught it, its pure energy pulsating against her palm. The heart resonated with her, its energy merging with hers, amplifying her magic. With the heart's power and her own resolve, Seraphina countered Morgana's dark magic, dispelling it and sending the sorceress reeling backward. Morgana, taken aback by the sudden turn of events, could only watch in horror as Seraphina reclaimed the Heart of Elderglow, disrupting her dark plans. She retreated, vowing revenge, her ominous words echoing in the now quiet cave. Exhausted but victorious, Seraphina emerged from the cave, the Heart of Elderglow safe in her hands. Alara, remorse written all over her face, approached Seraphina, but the Guardian turned away, her heart heavy with betrayal. Alara's betrayal was a wound that would take time to heal. Returning to Elderglow, Seraphina was hailed as a hero, her victory over Morgana a symbol of hope for the future. As she stood amidst the celebration, Seraphina looked at the Heart of Elderglow in her hands, her mind already on the journey ahead. Morgana was still out there, and Seraphina knew that she needed to be ready for any future threats. Chapter 12, The Ethereal Guardian. The celebrations in Elderglow continued for days, the town adorned with magical lights and filled with joyous laughter. Yet, amidst the festivities, Seraphina found herself looking towards the forest, its magic calling out to her. In the quiet of her home, she studied the Heart of Elderglow. It was more than a powerful artifact, it was a symbol of her bond with the forest, of her duty as its guardian. As she held it, she could feel the forest's life force, its magic weaving through her veins, resonating with the beat of her heart. She also thought about Alara, the sting of betrayal still fresh. She understood her reasons, the coercion and fear that had driven her to betray her own. But understanding didn't make the hurt any less. Alara had chosen to leave Elderglow, a self-imposed exile, her guilt evident in her sad eyes. Seraphina made peace with the fact that her journey was far from over. Morgana was still a threat, and there were likely other dangers lurking in the shadows. But she was not afraid. She was a guardian, chosen by the forest, empowered by the Heart of Elderglow. She was ready to face whatever came her way, to protect her home, her friends, and the magical world she loved. As she looked out of her window, the forest whispering secrets in the wind, she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. Her life was no longer that of a simple town girl. She was Seraphina, the Ethereal Guardian, the protector of Elderglow.